Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films Live, episode 4. Heading into the preseason's over. It's now time to head to the regular season. So much to talk about, so much movement with roster cut downs, final countdown yesterday. Then today, of course, a slew of moves. Hasn't let up. Ashley and I are here to talk all about it, waiting on Sergeant Garnett West. So, Ashley, let's get this out the way first. What's going on with G? Hope he's okay, first of all, right? And then what could Garnett be doing, assuming that he's hopefully okay?
Maybe he's just getting freshened up. It takes a lot to be the most attractive person on the show, and we all know it's Garnett. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I try to take credit for that, but as you know, that's a midlife crisis thing. I always try to say I'm the best one. And then, of course, everybody tells us in the comments and all throughout how beautiful you are. So, really, you're right. It's Garnett. Garnett's the star of the show. Maybe he's just got to freshen up, turn in that Ed Reed starter kit until like a full Ed Reed. Maybe he's got that little gray spot coming in. Hey, everyone, hit that like and subscribe. Don C., good to see y'all. Jeff J., hey, man. Nice to see you too. Appreciate you. And let's see what Don has to say about looks. The lovely Jason, the stunning Ashley. Good evening. Thank you very much, Don. We're hoping Mr. Neil West is coming in. And guess what? Guess who's back?
Guys.
Was that a can I heard cracking?
Oh, it's gonna be a good one.
All right, good. Hey, in all seriousness, everything okay with you? You doing well?
Yeah, we're doing good. So the big surprise that I put out on just trying to be funny and all that and cause a little attention. But yeah, I bought a puppy for my dog. I mean for my wife. Yeah. And,
Puppy in the house. So Garnett, we're gonna leave you on mute a lot tonight, then, sir. So you just sit there and have a beverage, and when you want to holler at me, you just jump right in and start yelling. Okay.
Man. So I'm sorry I missed the last part. I'm trying to get everybody moved out because it's a little hectic here because of this puppy.
That's okay.
Yeah, man. But other than that, man, everything's going good. How about you guys?
We're doing good. We were just talking about how good looking you are. As a matter of fact, I hope you go back and watch the first 2 minutes or whatever, because you were getting flowers, sir. We just don't like to give them when you're around. You know how it is. Look, he's got the eyebrows. That's a sexy man down at the bottom. Look at him. In fact, Garnett, maybe later I'll put up that thing that I put on Twitter. Ashley, did you see it? Garnett West got that dog in him. Did you see that, man?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Yeah. One of my best works out of all the films I did. Hey, you got that guy right there, the highlight king. Simply yes, going to the barber Friday and going to ask for the Jason. Wise move, sir. Wise move. Like the Jason comes in various styles. I still have a hairline. It's not a wig. Garnett, let me get your advice on this, buddy. I was thinking about midlife crisis things to do. Going to a black barber. Your opinions on that, Garnett Rest? I'm not asking for any particular reason.
Do it. So what you need to do, this is how you can test it out. Let your hair grow for 3 weeks. Don't get it cut. Don't touch it. Let it just even out itself in a way. Give them some room to work. And
okay.
Just walk in there hey, I need your help. Just you know what I mean? Just hey man, I'm feeling this style. If you got an idea of what you want to do, let them know. But if not, hey, I just want to look smooth when I walk in this door. I want to be a panty dropper when I walk out of here.
Okay, well, I might use those words. Also figure, here in Baltimore, there's a lot of black businesses I could support. I know I'd be welcome there. I figure I could give somebody a nice tip. I could finally straighten out this line. I know that's a big thing, getting the line straight. So, I'm just playing with ideas, Garnett. You know how it is when you get a little older, you're looking for stuff to spice up the life. Yeah. Hey, there's Wheeli. The Wheeli is back in the house. Batman, is that Catwoman? Anybody, Ashley? Is that Catwoman?
Yeah.
All right, nice. Yuri, we got to get him on the show soon. I love the beer crack when Garnett joins. Yeah, it's like a rite of passage, man. Garnett joins, and it's the beer gets cracking. Marcel, Spearmont, how's it going, Marcel? And yeah, man, everybody's checking in. This is great, Dawson. Guys, we have a lot to talk about tonight. Garnett, we were saying on the opening, all the roster was cut down yesterday. Today was arguably as busy. So we got offensive depth chart to look at, who made it, who's still on the practice squad, all that. We have the defense to look at. I want to do a look at a Josh Ross film for all you guys out there. If you didn't see on the channel, put together a nice little like 3-minute compilation on the plays that I graded Josh Ross on positively this preseason. He's got a lot of Josh Bynes in him, as Ravens fans 86 said. This guy reminds me of Chuck Clark a little bit. Like his play speed is average, okay, but like as far as like a pure football player, what a guy. So Ashley, let's start with you. I think one of the big stories of today was Ronnie Stanley. He did not practice officially, but he was off to the side working. But even more so than that, the situation that changed today, a little bit of a surprise. For a guy that we're not sure where he is physically, they gave him an $8.5 million bonus and that creates about $6.3 million of cap space this year, spreads out his cap hit, gives him a little money in his pocket, win-win for everybody there. So how did you feel about that? Were you surprised? And where are you with Mr. Stanley at this point?
It is a little frustrating that he's not back yet. We were all kind of expecting it when he got moved, but I'm hoping that bonus signifies that he will be returning very soon, maybe by week 1, 2, and moving around that money, making room for other extensions such as Marcus Peters and other players that we'll get into later.
Yeah, and actually, Garnett, Peters is a guy that if we extend, man, we can save even more money for that cap. And it could get like the Ravens could get put in a position, G, where we acquire someone or two people like a difference maker. Like this ain't chump change, 6.6 million. If you sign a $10 million a year, excuse me, if you sign a $10 million a year contract, you're going to make $6 million on that first year of the deal usually. So a significant amount of change to be freed up for the Ravens to use as they please.
Right, and you're so right about that, man. I was actually talking on the space twice, a little bit yesterday about the whole situation about how the money fluctuates in the basically of who we got to pay for next year. And the largest people we got to pay for is obviously Lamar if he doesn't sign, and Marcus Peters. Everybody else is basically under contract for the next 2 to 3 years. So everything works out tremendously if we sign Marcus Peters early, and then not even going to mention Lamar's team, whatever, but with the whole Ronnie Stanley piece about him reconstructing, that's room for a JPP or whoever we can think of that because we're still hurting the edge. And also, whatever else we might need. Well, I guess we don't need any more inside linebackers, right?
Yeah, we don't need those. We have like 6 of those, including Mr. Tyree Phillips. Just learning his name for the first time, G. That rarely ever happens. Tyree. I'm not even sure. I haven't seen him on tape and know what position he plays, but he looks like a middle linebacker to me, Ashley, 6'2", 230. So, but yeah, I was thinking JPP too, Ashley. I was also thinking that if they're going to give Lamar, I saw somebody today speculate that, well, this is a sign that they're not going to do anything for Lamar. I think it's the opposite. If they're going to give Lamar his money guaranteed, you can't manipulate the cap. So in other words, if he makes 5 years, 250, all guaranteed, his cap hit's going to be an even $50 million per year. You can't make it lower in the first and then higher. So, maybe, I kind of took it as a good sign, although I'm not holding my breath. But yeah, JPP sounds kind of good to me, Ashley.
Yeah, and like Eli's saying down here, I am running an agenda. I do want as many Florida Ravens as possible. I think Engraven coined it that name, the Florida Ravens. And, being in that area, I see a lot of Tampa Bay games. So I'm really hoping that the Ravens make something happen.
Yeah, man. The Florida Ravens, I'm not usually for any kind of bias, but it seems to work for the Ravens, Garnett. Like, you get the Florida guys, man. I know you like your Georgia guys too. Brother Jay, let's get a cut together. I need one. No, I am not taking you to a black barbershop, Alec. There is no way.
Hey, so if you guys get cuts, right? So we got to have an alter ego name change if you guys get a brother cut. I'll think of the name what we're gonna call you, but same thing with Allie. Like when you guys get this cut, it's official after that.
No, I'm not taking Alec with me. This is going to be a solo meeting. This might be a father-son moment, Garnett. If I can convince them to embarrass themselves for that. So yeah, no promises, guys, no promises. But yeah, when Alex said he wants to get the Jason haircut, he's going to ask for the Jason. Yeah, it might go over big. But yeah, I want to talk about JPP a little bit later and how it relates to the rest of the defense. But he just makes a lot of sense for a couple of different reasons. The other thing, man, Ashley, I got to give you credit on this one and to give myself a little credit because both of us predicted 4 running backs would be on this roster. And there are 4 running backs on this roster, the newest one being Kenyon Drake. So Justice Hill, yes, he was kept for his special teams. Mike Davis was kept for his pass protection. I mean, it's just such a nice to have that big back to go along with JK recovering from the season. Ashley, I know you were, I have been confident, pretty steady the first 3 episodes about the running game. How do you think Kenyon Drake adds to that room?
I really liked Kenyon Drake, so I'm excited to see. I know that he's excited. He's said a lot on Twitter about he was saying that purple is his favorite color and he can't wait to get started. So I love the attitude already from him.
G?
Yeah, I'm stoked about it. I guess it's one of those things where for me, I said it too late. He was great coming out of Alabama. Being him and Derrick Henry was a nice duo back in the day. Him in Miami was pretty awesome. Everybody remember the final play against the Patriots with the whole, I forgot what they call those moments. There's a certain name for it, but in those moments, whatever. But he's just a straight, fast 6'1". I think about 228, somewhere around there. Well, somewhere around there. Just a nice size burst. I felt like it's like when we had Mark Ingram, but just taller, younger, more explosive version. I'm not an Alabama guy, but roll tide on this one, man.
Okay, yeah, I like Kenyon Drake too. He's a no-nonsense runner. I saw him used around the goal line a lot, which is a credit to him. I think he's very good on third downs, pass protection, third down conversions, catches. I would like to put a cut up of him up on the channel if I can get the tape. But I feel like, Ashley is a fantasy football person. You kind of have watched Kenyon Drake before and have your eye on him, how he's used when he's brought into the game. And it seems like the Ravens want to run between the tackles with Gus being out for an unknown amount of time. It seems to me like the carries are going to be between Kenyon Drake and Mike Davis. Okay, so hear me out on this, Ashley. JK is going to get what he can handle. Justice Hill is going to be active for his special teams. You might not have all 4 backs active. You know what I mean? You might have to skimp somewhere else. So there's going to be a battle here, Ashley, in my mind, between Mike Davis and Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see if that's what it turns out to be. I mean, I'm leaning a little bit more toward Kenyon just because I've seen more of what he can do. But seeing Mike Davis in preseason and seeing, some of his film, I'm excited to see what happens. And then, of course, incorporating Gus when he gets back, JK as he gets healthier as time goes on. I'm very confident in the running backs this season.
And, G, I want to jump in before you go. Someone had asked if Beatty was still on the roster. Here we go. Yeah, Dawson. Yes, Beatty signed to the practice squad. He was. We're going to bring that up in just a little bit. So stick with us. You'll enjoy the nice little chart I made and on that. Also, G, before I get to you, our buddy Yolanda back in. That makes me smile. Thank you, Yolanda. Love it. Hey, Baltimore, get up. Wish we kept Polk and Bridges over Bolden, who's hurt, and Oliver. You know what, Baltimore, get up, man. That's another good point. We're going to get into all that. Luckily, Polk and Bridges are also back, although Bridges went on an injured list. So we're going to get to that real quick. But there's one more player I want to discuss, G. Kenyon Drake, first of all, the battle between him and Mike Davis for touches behind JK. You agree with me on that one, sir?
Yeah, I do. I definitely agree with you on that, man.
And who do you like? Like, what's your feelings on that?
So here's my thing with both. They both possess home run hitting ability, even though we never really had seen the opportunity for Hill to be able to broadcast that. But it's there. But obviously, we've seen the proven guy in Kenyon to be able to produce like that and be able to hit a home run. They both have pass catch. I think the pass catching out of the backfield is going to play tremendous for Kenyon Drake. And I can't this gives me a really good sensation of just can't wait spirit is I can't wait to see him in a screen game. Just think about Linderbaum and all those horses out there just having a wall and they're moving right behind each other, man. That would be beautiful.
Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on this Garnett, because as a it's a scout, scouting mind over here. I see traits. So when I'm looking at pass protection, I like Mike Davis. When I'm looking at pass catching, I like Kenyon Drake. When I look at the long speed, it's just Kenyon Drake. Mike Davis really isn't known for that. When you're talking about running between the tackles, there are some plays that I like Kenyon Drake's slashing style. And then if it's first and goal on the one, or we're running it from the 1 yard line rather, or 4th and 1, I like Mike Davis in those situations. So it's like, I feel like there's a place for both, but the Ravens just might not want to activate all four on game day, Garnett. And Justice Hill is going to be on there playing teams.
Right. And just to clarify, I made a mistake. I really thought you said, I don't know why I went full retard. I thought you were saying Justice Hill. But yeah, it's completely different type of running back. I don't know why. I went full retard. I'm sorry. But yeah. So between Mike Davis, you got it's like a smash and dash combination. It's like Lindell White. And obviously he's not Reggie Bush or Chris Johnson, but it's like the old school, smash and dash combination between those two. But yeah, I think Mike Davis is obviously the red zone back type of ordeal, and then third down sets or whatever, just to change your pace, Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, I feel like the Ravens actually are going to find their Gus Edwards between the two. Like, we're not sure which ones can handle those kind of runs that we'd like to give to Gus, but between these two guys, I think we got the Gus role covered is where the Ravens are going. How comfortable do you feel that they can be? Gus is his own guy, man. What a running back he is. But how comfortable are you with them handling those kind of runs between the tackles?
I feel like if it's just for the first few weeks or however long it takes, I feel like we're more than equipped. Even if there's they're not going to be exactly like him. They're not going to be able to take exactly what he does, but it's close enough where it's not going to hurt us in the long run.
All right, cool. Yeah, go ahead, G.
No, I just completely agree. I'm just giving my sister a high five. That's all.
High five. Hey, come on, Gasha, hold on. Give it to me. Come on.
Okay. To the side. Okay.
My wrists don't twist that easy, man. So yeah, and hey, on to the next topic. We got Sean. Thank you, Sean, for commenting. This is transitions right into it. It is what it is. I had a feeling Tyree wasn't in the plans this year. He was so inconsistent this preseason. And that looks like a beat up emoji, man. Yeah. Tyree's career, man. I have so many feelings on this. So I'm gonna leave mine out of it first and just go right to Garnett on this. Garnett, we talked about Tyree a lot last year. Ravens cut him today. From what a little birdie was telling me, and you take this with a grain of salt, I don't have any sources. They were looking to trade Tyree or Powers, and apparently they have Powers over him and decided to cut Tyree instead of Ben Powers.
Yeah, I think it was almost in the makeup of the whole left guard. We all thought either Powers. We all thought Powers was like the trade candidate because we were trying to get $2 million off the books or whatever, but I think nobody was going to bite into that short contract as well. So he's basically got to renew it as soon as you get there. Tyree, I guess people were just it's crazy. Nobody, I guess they didn't want to buy into the versatility. I'm not taking shots at him, but basically he played everywhere on the line for us. Better at left guard than tackle, obviously, but man, hopefully he'll find a job somewhere. I'm just gonna be positive about that. I'm not gonna try to belittle a man that made it to an NFL league that I could never make it in. But the best of the best for the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was serviceable as guard. I think it's just kind of things got skewed when we started moving him around and started moving him to tackle. And like Garnett said, just all the best to him. Hope he can be just as serviceable somewhere else. I think that kind of hurt him moving him around like that. It didn't end up the way we hoped to, but I'm still grateful that he was here and did what he could.
Me too. I feel like he got a raw deal, and something that I pointed out, I believe on the show last week, was the reporters tried to give him an out, be like, hey, has all this moving you around been messing you up? He said, no, that's an excuse. I could pick it up. But I think that Tyree, maybe they didn't want to trade for him, but I think that another team will pick him up and he can find his way back on the NFL field, like not just on a roster, playing some meaning time. Because with Tyree, I've always maintained, Garnett, you remember last year, it's not a physical thing for him. He has some mental breakdowns and some stuff that happens. You're like, man, why, Tyree? You just had 10 great, 8 great snaps and 3 good snaps. And then this happens like out of the blue and, a drive ends. So I feel like Garnett, if he goes to like a more simplistic power scheme where he doesn't have 1,000 run plays to remember and assignments are all over the place, that he could probably be a pretty good guard in this league.
Right. And just the thing, just to back you up, Jason, you've been pounding this, this drum for a long time about Tyree. Going on, Cam's film study show, talking about how he's been moving around from day one. We're not giving him a fair shot. So, yeah, man, you've been around the corner for that, brother, man. It's hopefully the next stop he goes to, he has a permanent station, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, actually, I mean, imagine it. They shoved him in the starting lineup at right guard ahead of DJ Fluker as a rookie in a COVID year, no preseason games, limited training camp. You just shove him in the lineup. I had a problem with that. I'm like, well, at least with DJ, he knows what's going on. He's a veteran in the league. Last year, Tyree was the starting left guard, and as Garnett mentioned, Ashley, we would have saved $2.5 million, but really you're going to have to replace a player too. So we would have saved about $1.5 million. And Ben Powers is in the last year of his deal, so he's gone after this year no matter what. Where we still had Tyree for this year and next year.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think about more what you said about moving him around and having so many run plays to remember. You have to feel for him. You have to understand that we're harsh on him, and some of it is mental. So like Garnett was saying, I'm not going to be too hard on somebody when I could never do something like that. I was never in that position, so I can't really judge. And I'm going to hope that the Ravens have it all. They have a greater plan. Something will turn out better out of all of this.
To Tyree Phillips.
Pour one out, G.
You got the cup, bro?
How about iced tea? You know what? I should lie to people and be like, yeah, I'm in the 5th of whatever over here. But no, it's just iced tea. Unfortunately, I can't drink without consequences anymore. So I'm going to save that for week 4 when Garnett crashes at the house. I'm going to have some beer, and we'll probably go live on there. Yeah. And this is the thing. Sean, again, it is what it is. I had a feeling he was so inconsistent, and it was the consistency, I think. Ben Powers is consistently okay, I guess, with a couple of breakdowns. Tyree, though, it could be the same mistakes that he was making, and I think that's what hit it, man. Yeah, Devon's in here too, man. Devon, give me a thumbs up if this is DJ and K. Is that DJ and K, guys?
That's my brother, man. That's the brother.
Nice, man. Yeah, and the Strong Island iced tea. I'm surprised. I didn't think Ashley was old enough to drink, but maybe with all this the super chat donations and everything, maybe I can buy Ashley something nice, like a bottle of wine or something to send it to Florida. Hey, one more roster move before we get to the actual depth chart. Tony Jefferson, let go. Something I wasn't really happy about because as Ashley joked about earlier, Garnett, we have plenty of it was Garnett. We have plenty of linebackers, plenty of linebackers. We got 6 of them on the roster right now. Didn't have space for Tony Jefferson, which upset me because he's just a steady physical safety that you can put in on a passing downs, find someone for him to cover, find an area for him to cover. And, I believe that he's a hard-nosed tackler. You could play him on running downs too if you wanted to. Ashley, class act and Tony Jefferson, what kind of memories do you have of Tony? And he's all over, like a real person, all over Twitter that I love.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like we're going to be lacking a lot in that leadership that he brought. He did bring like an energy to the team and was that veteran presence that we really benefited from. And even bringing him in last year, you could see the people around him wanting to be better with him. So I was upset about that. And I know he was upset about it too. He was expecting to re-sign with us and that didn't happen. But all the best to him and Wink reunited in New York.
Hey, yeah, man. About the whole Tony thing, man. Like, it's a business, man. This is what it is. I think the moment we signed, Kyle Hamilton, we drafted him. It changed the whole complexion of that safety room. Even Chuck Clark was like, "Hey, I didn't know what to do after. I was shocked. I don't know what's going on." He felt like he was a lost cause. So, yeah, man. It's a business. It is what it is. I hope the best for the man. On my first account that wasn't suspended, but that is suspended. Me and him were boys. We got pretty close. Madden League, just when I was going through my ACL stuff, he hit me up personally, asking me how I'm doing. I'm like, "Man, I'm doing good, man." And he literally walked me through the steps. So me, Tony's close to me, man. Obviously, the locker room dancing with Mark Ingram recorded on that was pretty. That's still funny to this day. And I know not to go back to Tyree Phillips, but we'll never forget Tyree Phillips for those 15 yards that he ran with the ball and got a concussion on it. But hey, everybody has great memories of these guys in some way or another.
Yeah, fond memories of Tony. Actually, what you said sticks out to me. Like, it wasn't just like leadership on the field. Like, a lot of that stuff I think can be, overblown by coaches and stuff. But with Tony, you kind of felt it. It was real. Like, he was a mentor. He's talking to them like a big brother would to their little brother. Tony always had that big brother energy and, could make fun of himself with the whole glasses and everything like that. And he, for a veteran, he played his butt off this preseason. He was in there when a lot of guys would be like, "Look, nah, man, look, just cut me. I'm not sitting out here with no ego with Tony, just a great guy." And then Garnett, actually international man of mystery, sitting there getting ACL advice, allegedly from Tony Jefferson. Yeah,
there's no alleged business in my name whatsoever, man. It's like, well, come on, bro. Like, he's a bro. He's a good dude, man. For real.
So what knee injury or surgery was this? How many knee surgeries have you had?
I had a total of 4 ACL knee surgeries. I think it was the first one we had a discussion about, and after that he walked me through like, "Hey, yeah, it's gonna feel weird, just take it time by time, like whatever." Just he walked me through it, and after that I became a pro for the next 3.
Pretty amazing. Yeah. Garnett, of course, thank you for your service. For all those that don't know, that is Marine Sergeant Garnett West. Suffered his injuries overseas, man. We ain't going to talk too much about that because, man, I could spend a whole show talking to that man about his experience. So, okay, guys, we've had a lot of discussion on the board already about this defensive depth chart, how thin we are at outside linebacker, at Sam specifically. I mean, look at that, guys. Look at the outside linebacker / edge room. You have Adafiowe and Justin Houston. That's great. Then the guys in yellow there are in the practice squad, as you can see down at the bottom. And the guys in red are on IR. So at this point, only 2 healthy, ready to go edge players. That is sure to change by opening day, Garnett.
Hey, so I have a question about this IR thing. So hopefully a lot of people that are watching this and listening that are unsure about things, I'm going to add like the dunce of the room, the guy that's just going to answer a lot of questions. So for the IR, for the situation for Hayes, and obviously we're going to get to the receiver and another one for Bridges. They're on injury wave IR. Are they allowed to come back into the season after 4 to 7 years or whatever?
I'm going to say, Garnett, I'm 70% sure that they can. I'm not great with those kind of rules. I got to be honest with you. I spend my time on other stuff. But, going through Twitter and everything, I think that gives them the option to come back. But yeah, man, JPP, like Baltimore get up. Why is JPP not on this team yet? One thing, actually, that I want to say is this is a 4-3 team, fellas. Look at our personnel.
Absolutely.
Do you remember? Go ahead, G.
No, I said I'm agreeing with you. I'm like ad-libbing. I'm not gonna curse on here. I'm ad-libbing the heck out of you right now. I'm right there with you, brother.
Yeah, you remember, man, give me my props, right? I've been calling about this 4-3 since we didn't draft one, and with Bowser and everything being out. Like, the good part is we're so deep in this defensive line, and we're so deep in the safety room. So what this allows us to do is you can put a guy like Calais Campbell is a 4-3 defensive end. Broderick Washington can play there. Brent Urban, prototypical 4-3 defensive end. Bobby Trossett, when I was on with Sarah and Bobby, was talking about the basketball team that you can have. Imagine trying to throw over Brent Urban and Calais Campbell there on that edge. Very tough. And then basically just a little explanation for everybody out there. When you're playing a 3-4, on the edges, you have that prototypical Ravens, Terrell Suggs, Tyus Bowser, Matt Judon. One of them might be coming. One of them might be dropping. This one might be coming. This one might be dropping. Maybe they're both coming and somebody in the middle is dropping. Maybe it's a lot of games being played. And that's why you see guys like Matt Judon, Yannick Ngakoue leave when they say, look, I wasn't given a chance to eat in that defense and put up my sack numbers because I'm doing this, that, and the other thing and not just pinning my ears back and rushing the passer. So when I look, yeah, Oweh can drop into coverage, sure. That's not where you want Justin Houston. You want Justin Houston rushing the passer. And quite frankly, you want Odafe Oweh rushing the passer. So what I think is going to happen is we're just going to put 4 guys on the defensive line, Ashley, and cover them with 7 defensive backs or maybe 1 linebacker and 6 defensive backs behind them.
And I think a lot of that, dropping them into coverage, I think a lot of that had to do with Wink. So I'm excited to see what McDonald does different and how all of these players, like I want to see Oweh utilized to his full potential, and having a young guy like that who's used to that. I'm excited to see what all of these guys, not just Oweh, not just the young guys, but what everyone is capable of doing on a Mike McDonald defense.
Yeah, like with the whole Oweh piece, man. Hey, Jason, can you say what you said one more time for Oweh, please?
Well, what's going to happen is, if you put 4 guys up there and put all the coverage behind them and take out all the games, Oweh's going to be able to rush the passer and get into a rhythm. He's not going to be dropping back into coverage and doing all this other junk. You can run him on stunts and all kinds of stuff. Same thing with Justin Houston. And you know who else I think it benefits big time, Garnett? I want you to pick up on this. Justin Madubuike. Instead of him holding the front and 2-gapping and, do that, you just tell Madubuike to shoot a gap like he's best at and just blow up plays. Travis Jones, I think it'll help. Even a guy like Michael Pierce, if you give him a gap to destroy, man, good luck holding that man up if you're trying to do it with one arm. You're going to need 2 people. So, yeah, I just feel like we're going to have an attacking defensive line, Garnett.
I don't need to say anything. You're like my attorney right now. I'm feeling like you're talking to my lawyer, man. Because we've been saying this for over 2 years, bro. Like, let these dudes hunt. And I'll be damned if I see an Oweh drop it back in coverage. I'll be damned if I see drop it back in coverage. Like, let these dudes, like, the reason why you draft them and the reason why you signed a Houston is like what? He's like 1 sack away from 100 or something like, or did he like something like that?
It's like
passed.
half.
No,
Oh, okay.
He passed it. It's Calais that I think is like 5 away.
Yeah, but like, there's a reason why these dudes are like, he's a triple-digit guy in sacks. Why is he dropping back? I think he was number 1 last year, and winning against his one-on-one against the tackle or something. I forgot what it's called, the actual name of it, but he was like number 1 in PFF when it comes to like basically winning it on the pass rush. So I don't know, man. What's up?
It was pass win rate. Yep.
Yeah, pass win rate. So it's like, that's my biggest thing. It's like, yo, why are we not putting them in the best situation to be successful? And that's why, how you said, that's the reason why not Suggs, but Judon, Yannick Ngakoue, they all left, man. Like, they're not being able to have enough reps to get into rhythm to like win and get home. Obviously, we didn't get enough pressure in the middle, which will be fixed this year, especially when Travis Jones and all these boys in galore are going to, demolish. But the 4-3, man, is going to be a very beautiful thing, especially when you do a 4-3 over. It's going to create a lot of havoc. Like I said, I think that the sacks will be coming. A lot of sacks will be coming from the interior more than anything. It's going to be shocking to a lot of people, but not me. I'm going to put my foot down right now.
And Ashley, man, I'm going to ask you this. Do you remember last year Joe Burrow's numbers versus the blitz? Do you remember over the years like seeing randomly Patrick Mahomes numbers versus the blitz, Josh Allen's versus the blitz? Like, Ashley, all these quarterbacks we're going to have to go through. I mean, I love the 3-4 defense. I grew up on it, but there's no fooling these guys. If you're going to get burned if you take a chance like that. You're better off, like Garnett and I are saying here, just letting those guys pick a gap that they can shoot through and move those, get in their face, like Travis Jones in your face, Matabike in your face, instead of like trying to play all these games and tricking them. Like that worked. Like we saw with Baker Mayfield. All power to Baker, but he would shrink in the pocket when we got pressure on him. Some of these not as great quarterbacks, you can really dominate them with a 3-4. But I feel like a 4-3, a straight up, hey, we'll blitz a linebacker every once in a while, Ashley. We're not just passive and playing back. Blitz a safety every once in a while, but instead of trying to trick them, Ashley, just turn your dogs loose and let them go.
100%. And I feel like it needs to be more personable, like you said, like use Jones to the best of his ability, not what you expect or would want to see. Like you need to know what these players are good at and let them be them.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a couple of comments before you go. Garnett. Hey, wanted to welcome somebody I see comment all the time with Simply, man. Thank you for stopping by. Let me hit this little play button. Black Daniels, man, I appreciate you coming to the stream, man. I hope you enjoy the chemistry we got over here, man. Sutton and Alex are great. See you over there, man. So it's a blessing to have you here. But yeah, Garnett, man, add something else to this, the piece of this pie. Like JPP, he just seems to fit. He's a hand in the dirt, go get the quarterback guy. And the cool part about a 4-3, like you're talking about 4-3 over, is like you can match them up with a right tackle. Instead of having your best pass rusher always going against the left tackle and having Bowser drop or not drop, you can put away over the right tackle too now, and he can set that edge and get after the quarterback and take advantage of like.
Right. Yeah. And with JPP, he brings mad length, and that's what I love about him is he can control the edge tremendously. Savvy veteran. I don't see him falling for a lot of if they shoot a screen out on us. I don't see him falling for that. I see the guy he's going to be the lead tackler of busting that play up. Everything I'm really, really hoping that it does. I know he came to visit a couple months back, but we definitely need him, I should say, as of right now, due to just the IR and the PUP guys, or with the Hayes, Ajabo, and Bowser. That would really help out tremendously with the rotation. I heard that not Wiley, but I heard they're trying to move Welch or something maybe at Sam, or it might be Harrison. Either it's Welch or Harrison. But I heard from a buddy of mine that's like somewhat close with the team. But that is just I wouldn't even risk it. But if we're doing that route, man, that's real ballsy, I should say.
Yeah, and even Queen was mentioned to do like a little Micah Parsons, which I actually like, man. I think some of that would really work because Patrick Queen, man, for all the things I get on him about what he's not doing as well as I'd like to see him, he's one of the best blitzing linebackers out there. You give Patrick Queen credit for that as far as chasing, finishing. And Ashley, I didn't know this. I just caught this comment. What are your thoughts here on Mr. Martindale, Ashley? Because this was before Huddle It Up Films. You're showing your stardom here. So did Wink frustrate you? Did by any chance you say any bad words about Wink last year?
That and the whole chain thing, it just bothered me. Fans, making that their profile picture on Twitter, and it's just he wasn't good enough to be elevating him to that level, and it did annoy me a little bit.
So you didn't think he deserved the props just for having a fly looking chain and dare I say whipping it out during the team photo? You weren't a fan of Wink whipping it out, huh, Ashley?
Hey yo,
I was not.
Hey yo.
Sorry guys. Yeah, Garnett, you're one to talk over there.
Hey, but yeah, man, but damn. So basically, Ashley would be like, you ever seen ATL with T.I., right, Ashley?
I haven't, no.
All right, so what I need you to do is just watch that movie, and it's going to see basically what you would do to Wink with the chain. Like literally, you'll definitely understand what I'm saying.
I don't even want to know. I don't.
No. It's pretty. It's not like nothing like crazy, like nothing like out of this world. It's a scene in the movie of when basically when T.I. walks up to the girl, and he bought her a chain, and he figured out she wasn't like telling the truth to him, so he walks up and just snatches the chain off her neck, and just walks away. So that's what she'll probably do to Wink.
No. Ashley's too nice for that. Ashley's way too nice. Yeah, I think I want to transition here a little bit. I saw a comment earlier. Apologize, I don't remember who it was from, but like, and we've been a little bit negative here so far, but Ardarius Washington had upset me when he was let go, and we carried all these linebackers. Like we kept Christian Welch over Ardarius, and yeah, special teams play a role, but we got guys all over the special teams. I outlined that earlier, just how many core special teamers we have. But all those guys, man, all the non-vested veterans. Of course, Tony is a veteran, but all the guys on their rookie deal and guys who haven't reached 4 years of service, they're all back, including Isaiah Mack, who I really like, including Ardarius. So good thing for the Ravens, and give them credit, I guess, that they had a feeling that those players weren't going to be claimed, Ashley. Like, if we want to pull up Ardarius and start on week 1, we can. Same with Isaiah Mack, at least until somebody would claim them or put them on their active roster. They're ours for now. Steven Means, another guy.
Yeah, I was going to add Means and even Jeremiah Moon, especially how light we are. If a signing happens, then I'll be happy about it. But if one doesn't get done or whatever seems to happen, we needed those guys to come back just in case.
Yeah, with Memes, I was shocked that he didn't go. Ardarius, it's weird. Like, I'm shocked that he didn't go, but at the same time, man, it's all about I think if you really look around the league, there's a lot of great safeties, that are coming out of college or whatever. So I understand they probably want to sit still on them, but that's crazy. But Ardarius brings so many he's so versatile. I think he's a better nickel than safety in my opinion. That's just me, but
that's what I'm saying, man. I'm gonna get on my soapbox a little bit. Something else I was talking about with Sarah and Bobby when we were doing the roster predictions is that I don't look. I mean, Ardarius is listed as a safety on the Ravens website, but I don't look at him as a safety. I look at him as the second best slot corner on this team. You get yourself a smaller, quicker receiver. Look at our cornerback room. Of course, you got Peters and Humphrey. Brandon Stevens is not small and quick. Demarion Pepe Williams, he's your starter. Armour Davis hasn't proven anything, and he's a bigger cornerback, not small and quick. Kyle Fuller's up there in age, you know what I mean? So if you got this uber quick, fast receiver that we're going to see, like if Pepe is struggling or if they have two of them, like Ardarius would be my next man up to cover someone like that, Ashley. Like the skill set just matches.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and just I think I know we're like going around this side of the depth chart, but I know somebody asked it in the comments about Stevens, and I don't know if you can. I'll buy some time for you to find it exactly what he was asking about. But okay. Stevens, man, I'm really I'm worried, man. I really am, just due to the fact that Peters is. Hopefully, Peters is 100% coming back from injury or whatever. What's your thoughts on Stevens being moved around so much? I think it's hurting his development. Yes, like when in a man coverage, but seems to be flat-footed at times. Yeah, I think it's just him moving around. But I think this season or this preseason or off season, I should say, all in totality, he's been playing a lot of just corner from what I've seen and heard. So the biggest problem with him is just I think he's more worried about he's pressing not to make mistakes and really just trying to play the receiver more than anything. And you can see that with a lot of guys. Like a lot of young corners are always in that situation. Like, I don't want to make a mistake. Let me just watch his hips, watch his feet. Let me not get lost. And then I get lost. And I think that's the biggest issue with Stevens is where he's not feeling comfortable yet. I'm not shooting bail for him. I wasn't really that high on him when we got drafted because obviously I didn't know who he was, but due to a good guy named Jason Smith with some film cut-offs or some rare cleats, I figured out who he was, and I'm like, okay, maybe you play a little first man and just let him play freely and not, just relax. He can probably be serviceable down the road. I do like Kyle Fuller still, though.
Yeah, Ashley, Garnett knows this. I'm not sure if you do or if I've said it here, but Brandon Stevens, when he was in there last year, when Deshaun Elliott went out, and Brandon Stevens came in, you just saw a lot of looks between people like, where am I supposed to be? Where are you supposed to be? He was very new to the position. He was a running back in college. I mean, it was a lot to ask for a running back to now I'm a corner at SMU being moved around everywhere to now I'm going to be a free safety in Winks defense. It was just a lot to ask. So I'm a Garnett on this. Like, I don't want to see what happened to Tyree Phillips happen to Brandon Stevens. I don't think football IQ I think it's going to take a while for Brandon. I don't want to knock him, but it's just going to take a while. Stick that man at outside corner. Find some big targets that he can cut with. Sean, it was a great comment. Flat-footed. Yes, you see him get flat-footed. You saw it happen when he got beat in the preseason game. Can't remember which receiver because it wasn't even, a starting receiver. Might have been Diami Brown. I'm not sure. It might have been Yuri's guy from North Carolina.
It was.
Just shook him, bro. Like, Ashley, we cannot have that. I mean, how you feel? Stick Brandon Stevens at outside corner. Let him cover some extra big guys. Maybe cover a tight end and call it a day.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it wouldn't be like we were taking away from anything because all of the other guys that we have at corner are fully capable of stepping in for him. And I'll say something positive. I did notice he was he was upping the physicality. Like it didn't look like he was afraid to go in and hit others. So I'll give him that. But I can definitely see where you guys are coming from. And I agree that moving him around may not be the best thing for him and for the productivity of the team.
Yeah, both. You know what I mean? But you spend that end of that draft wasn't, you had Stevens, and then of course you had Tylan Wallace, which was, I thought, a good pick, very good value. And then you had our friend that we're going to see over here on the offensive side, Mr. Ben Mason was also part of that draft. So a lot of questionable.
Jackie Harbaugh's favorite player.
Jackie Harbaugh. Yeah. I got in trouble on Twitter, Ashley, a while back because I said that Coach Harbaugh, with all due respect, and I still I'm going to speak my opinion. I don't know. I feel like they need to lock John out of the draft room. Like, I've seen who he chooses to start and when at offensive line. Saw him stick with Matt Skura till he couldn't come more. I saw him, try to. Tyree Phillips was one of his guys. What's up, Garnett?
High five, bro.
Okay, yeah, man. Tyree Phillips was one of his guy, and he's moved him around and tried to jam him in the lineup every which way instead of letting him develop. Remember the cheers for Devin Duvernay, who is not a route runner, to trade up in the third round, get him. Like, let the scouts do their job. It's less on Harbaugh and me making fun of them than it is you pay people to evaluate these players. Let's not reach. Let's not joke about taking Jackie Harbaugh's favorite player. Like, that rubbed me the wrong way because he was joking. But you know what? That's in the transcript, Ashley. I don't like. That's where that nepotism thing comes from, Ashley. It's just not good for business.
This is the side of Jason I love, Ashley. This is the side. This is the dark side of this. Is hey, I got a new black. This your black day when you get that cut. You're Javon.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that, sir. I'm not going to say that at all. Yeah, I might say it to you. I might come up with different names, but yeah. But yeah, seriously, I just am a big fan. I think that Eric DeCosta, when he's chosen his players in the first round, all right, I see it. Like, you got Bateman, you got Oweh, you got, when those hard decisions are made up in the first round, DeCosta's going to get to his guy. But when he starts deferring, you notice he deferred to his scout when we picked Pepe Williams. Look how good of a pick that looks like. Like, John Harbaugh is a football coach. Let him tell you what kind of guy he needs for what position to work with, and you let the scout pick who fits that description best. That's just my opinion. What's going on in the comments there, Garnett? I was looking at the camera.
So, some guy named Simply 10.
That guy.
What was it? It was pretty funny, pretty hilarious. He was talking about if John could, he would hire Jim. Absolutely.
Oh, God.
Yeah, nepotism at its finest. But, like, Jason, for real though, man. Like, Ashley, I want you to think about this. Just imagine, like, every draft, it happens. Like, we're killing the freaking draft, and then out of nowhere, like, no disrespect to Brandon Stevens, like, we're not Brandon Stevens. Let's just do Duvernay. Excuse me. We get Duvernay. Like, oh, Duvernay. Yeah, he played at Big Ten, Texas, yada yada. But there's another receiver on the board that's like better than him. You know what I mean? It happens every year. The Ben Mason, like, oh, we could have got Stone Forsythe or a tackle that we needed, but we got Ben Mason that we cut and get.
You know what? You know what? We got to Ashley compliment down here. Nubian says Ashley is fire with a fire truck. I think that's good, Ashley. I think that's good. But yeah, Ashley, what I was going to say is, all right, you're the coach, okay? You're the head coach, and you're going to bat, and you're in GM's ear that I want this guy. This guy is who I need. This guy will help us. Now, when it's your turn to decide who's going to start, aren't you naturally just a little bit biased to want to see that guy succeed? Like, not forget about what college he comes from. If you pick Devin Duvernay, do damn well you're going to give Duvernay a chance to, he might get us a little favoritism over somebody else who the coach didn't want. Same thing with Tyree Phillips. So that's why I like that kind of like separation of church and state in a football terms, Ashley.
Yeah, I agree, and I've seen it. I know how I don't even want to say frustrating. It's just it's how John is, and I've gotten used to it. I've seen it, so it's to be expected of John.
Yeah, the Ravens can be like that. Did you see my tweet under yours today? How the Orioles are like an abusive girlfriend to me. They treat me bad, you know what I mean? I swear they've changed now with the farm system. The Ravens have got me through all these tough times. They're so steady as a rock. I can't wait to see them. I'll be looking at the film and the pictures when they're gone. But they get on your damn nerves sometimes because it's like they're so consistent that the things that you love about them, you're always going to love about the Ravens. And the things that rub you the wrong way are going to rub you the wrong way the same every year about the Ravens. So John Harbaugh, I think a lot of people are on his butt pretty good. And hey, man, I'm all for free speech. I don't think he's perfect. I probably got more problems with him than a lot of analysts who try to paint everything as sunshine and roses, Garnett. But
Purple Patrol. Go, I say it for you.
Go ahead.
Purple Patrol.
The Purple Patrol, yes. Purple Patrol, and now you're trying to start Street Close Stanley. And we see it here on that depth chart. Mr. Stanley has been activated. All right, so Stanley Part 2, we talked about his contract. He's activated now, yet he's still not with the team in practice. Mr. Garnett, Sergeant West, well, can you talk for me on this one, buddy?
Yeah, man. This is gonna look like how it happened all unfolded last year, where he has a little sideline practice here or there. Maybe he'll promote himself basically from individual drills to coordination drills. What I mean by coordination drills is working with other O linemen with nobody across from them, but just working on steps or whatever. But this is almost just like last year, but him not dressing out whatsoever. Okay, he did dress out, but it's weird when I say this. During the joint practice with the Panthers, he did dress out one time, and then after that, he didn't. Last time he dressed out was in Week 1 against the Las Vegas Raiders. So, like I said, I don't know what to expect. When Week 1 comes across, or Jawan James or him, but it is what it is, man. This is the thing. I think Chris from Deep Cover Podcast, 1/3 of Deep Cover Podcast, just to throw that out there. Follow, like, and subscribe to those guys. But the biggest thing that I was talking to Chris about. He brought up like, "Hey, man, it's the truth. Like, as much as I joke around calling street clothes, somewhat deserved, but not." The guy, we don't know what he is. If he can't feel his left foot from from what I'm hearing, that's pretty crazy. Like, that's like somebody telling me, "Hey, you need to go do this." Well, I just had 4 ACL surgery, so I can't speak for the guy's injury, but at the same time, I think with the fan base is how it's been rubbed the wrong way about it. It's like when you go on Instagram or Twitter. I don't have an Instagram, but I'm just going off of what I heard. Twitter, and you're like, "Hey, I can't be. I'm ready. I'm more focused. I'm ready for Week 1. I'm all this." You're literally sending a message to the fan base. It's like you're going to be there and be ready to play. So that's the only issue, is where you're basically false advertising of what you are or what you potentially should be. That's the only pushback I have against Stanley. I hope the best for the man. You get your money. you take care of yourself and be able to, rock and roll whatever you do in your life and play ball. Please play ball. If you don't want to play ball, I get it. But don't sell it to the fan base like you're like ready for week one to happen when obviously when you're not dressing out at practice. That's my only spiel. Did I say that?
Hey man, no, those are all good points. Coming soon. Remember, he had that tweet right after Harbaugh said his return is not imminent. Like basically, stop asking me about Ronnie Stanley. Stanley was sent out that coming soon. And where's Black Daniels at? Yeah, this is how I feel and how I felt for a long time. I kept hearing people say, Ashley, oh, when Ronnie gets back, we're gonna have a top five line. Ronnie gets back, we're gonna be able to protect North. Ronnie gets back, like they're expecting it, and I kind of feel like Mr. Daniels does here, man. Like, won't say anything about Ronnie until he's dressed and on the field and game day. It's a moot point for me. And Black Daniels, I'll add, and playing well because he was on the field last year, and he wasn't the same. So not only does he have to come back, get on the field, but I want to see some semblance of Ronnie Stanley. Ravens on gatekeepers. Endo, what's up? Yeah, man. Yeah. So, Ashley, would you like to go on Ronnie before I go on my little spiel?
Yeah, the thing about when he comes back, we'll have a top 5 line. This, or a side of the fan base, I'm not going to say everyone, has a problem with setting dangerous expectations, high expectations. You can be positive and you can hope and wish for the best of all your players, because I always hope the best for all of our players. I never want to see any of our players fail. But saying something like that, a top 5 line, and then saying the thing they did about Bateman last year, that he's going to have this many yards, this many touchdowns when he got injured, you're setting yourself up to be disappointed, and then you're going to be disappointed watching games, and nobody wants to feel like that.
Agreed. And Sean just said something else, that he wasn't happy about the O-line play. This preseason is basically what he's saying, the ability not to run the ball. I mean, we saw it. There was nowhere for these running backs to go, actually. Like, we couldn't even get a real idea of where that competition stood. Like, Tyler Beatty getting cut surprised me. Luckily, he made it back to the practice squad, because I couldn't really tell you. He had one nice run, which was one more nice run than Justice Hill had. But, man, there was just nowhere to run with this line. Are you a little worried about the offensive line, like, aside from Ronnie? Like, can the other 4 spots pick it up for Ronnie, and can we be good, most places at least?
I'm confident in Zeitler, Moses, and I liked what I saw from Falele, but I still want to see more from Linderbaum because we haven't been able to see anything. Powers is a little concerning. Cleveland still kind of like Ronnie in that boat. I just need to see it kind of in play before I can really make a judgment out of all these guys, but it's definitely looked worse. I'll say that, is the line has definitely looked worse than it does now, at least on paper.
Yeah, it's a thick line, G. Like, we got a lot of guys in there, a lot of guys who could do it. It's not like a lot of bums in there. You know what I mean? Like, those are some good players there. Look at them, some upside potential. And the other thing that struck me on this, Garnett sticking on the offensive line, is that with Cologne being kept, you see old Tristan Cologne. To me, Garnett, that opens up McCary as an option at left tackle. So if Ronnie's struggling, and Juwan James is playing left tackle for the first time and he's having a hard time, looks like McCary's going to have that flexibility to take some reps at tackle.
Right, or either him or Morgan Moses, man. So you have it's crazy. You have multiple options at the left tackle, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because we're hoping for the Stanley guy to come up there. But Juwan James, it's like we have a secondary and a tertiary, multiple tertiary plans. So I think we're going to be good, man. And then obviously, how I look at the running game is it's a mental thing. The moment 8 steps on the field, everybody becomes better on the offensive line, like straight up. So that's the key factor of the whole run game to me, in a way. Obviously, we're not going to just data dump the whole RPO system. I think there's going to be a couple. I think we're going to see a lot of under center, which is going to be even more explosive than anything in this world, especially with the whole play action involvement, right? But I think that when it comes to just the line, I think everybody's gonna be good. I'm sis, sis. I'm a huge Linderbaum guy, so I have to support the guy that I always wanted. Like, so I'll leave it at that. I think he's gonna be good. I think he's gonna be okay. The biggest question is the guy that's gonna be to the left of on this TV, the left of him. I'm not sure. So like when it comes to Cleveland or Powers, that's where my worries are. But if we just downhill smash and dash, these guys, the teams that we played, obviously Jets week one, you know, I feel confident. I really do feel confident in that situation.
Yeah, the snatch and grab, sneaking geek. See, I listened to Kodak a little bit too.
Whoa!
You know that? Yeah,
What?
man.
What?
Do not let me fool you, son. I've been listening to guys like Kodak since before you was born. Gee, actually, I don't know. Probably you're right. I know you're a good 10 year. You're a millennial over there. So yeah. Hey, I wanted to thank Glenn right here, bro. This is a good comment. And luckily Garnett's on the bottom. In fact, I kind of like that brown G up there instead of his face. What do you think, Ashley?
Whoa.
Low blow, wasn't it? Low blow. But I like Glenn's comment. It's tough to evaluate an offensive line when 4/5 of that line either played a handful of snaps and didn't play at all. And Glenn, I'll add to it, they weren't even in the positions that they're going to be. And I'll add to it again, we were running a very vanilla scheme. You don't show your stuff in the preseason. So you know what, Ashley? I think Glenn makes a good point there. Like, don't freak out. Jason, take a step back from we couldn't run the ball this preseason. Nobody was out there. Hard to evaluate when you don't have the guys in their spots.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, we haven't seen a lot of these guys even take snaps yet, so it's kind of hard to gauge where they're going to be at week one, and we hope they're going to be at their best.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up some props here. Yes.
Hey, I'm gonna say how simply what it probably was thinking when I heard it. Like, okay, Jason, like that's high energy.
And Black Dana says he blames it on my son. You know what? No, I don't blame it on my son. I actually like his skills lyrically. I'm into the lyrics. He has a good time. He actually has some kind of sense of humor, which reminds me of Eazy-E, but he's a much better rapper than Eazy-E. And then he's fun. He's fun. He's fun.
What's your favorite Kodak Black song?
You know what? There's a lot of them. I do like Super Gremlin. The song I listened to was Pimpin' Ain't Easy. And I'm like, all right, this guy's got a nice flow, some creative one. I like I Can't Even Roll in Peace. That's a song that I can relate to very much.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, bro. I got some in the bank, man. Don't put me on the spot here. Garnett, I'm going to ask you, we're going to get the left tackle here in a second, but I'm also going to take a shot at you, G. Don't be stubborn with Linderbaum if he has a bad game. You call it out, sir.
No, come on, bro. Like hey, but think about this, man. Hey, so a lot of people don't know, but a lot of people don't. Hopefully, I'm gonna let them know. So I'm a very fair guy. My favorite quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. So just think about this. What I'm saying, like, I want you to break that down. Like, I'm very, very neutral when it comes to like my own team. Like, it's crazy. I thought about this when I was driving to work this morning. One morning. My favorite head coach is Mike Tomlin. My favorite GM is Les Snead. And then my favorite quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. I'm all over the place, but I'm a Ravens fan to the day I die. So I'm very neutral when I call out my own people, man. Like, think about this. I was a Marine for over 16 years, bro. And the biggest thing about it is know yourself and seek self-improvement. And also, when it comes to your peers, you have to be able to correct them on the spot without holding anything back. So just imagine when it comes to, like, critiquing your own team. Like, if my favorite player – Linderbaum, he play like butt, I'm going to give him a butt grade. That's the best way I put it.
All right, so there we go. So a couple of more references here just to top off this wonderful segment where I got a lot of is street cred still allowable, Ashley? You want to say that? Do people know what I mean?
You're allowed.
Okay. So we saw the Aaron Rodgers news. He did not know the perk was fake. He knew the perk wasn't fake. But he still ate it because he was a super gremlin when he went in. And then, another Kodak song reminds me of an inside linebacker that we have. I'm going to have to tell Simply AS 10 to to close his ears for this one because I know he loves the guy. But I'm guessing that Patrick Queen's favorite Kodak song is Patty Cake. We'll play some Patty Cake. And we'll watch Josh Ross coming up soon. He does not play Patty Cake, sir, does he, Garnett?
Thumper. Wait. In the words of like I said before, Will Compton from Bustin' the Boy, stud.
Yeah. I'm gonna, I'm gonna get myself in trouble probably by saying some inappropriate lyrics. We keep going down the Kodak rabbit hole. So left guard, Ashley, bring us back to sanity. This is what we need you here. Ben Powers, Ben Cleveland, maybe even Patrick McCary. Looks like Ben Powers has got the job because Cleveland's just failed a conditioning test, can't stay healthy. How are you feeling about this left guard spot? Give me your saying on both Ben Powers and Ben Cleveland, please. And if you want to throw McCary in there, go ahead, Ashley. I want to hear your left guard take. Give us a good one.
It's sad because I wanted to like Ben Cleveland so bad. I was advocating for him, but if you can't even, like, your one job is being a professional athlete, and if you can't even get that done, I'm just disappointed in him. I'll say he has some making up to do. So I want to be able to like him and have him at that spot, but as of right now, I guess it's Powers. McCary did some good for us with what he was given, the cards he was dealt last season. So between the both of them, I guess I'll say Powers, especially since the coaching staff seems so confident in him. And I'm not sure what their motivation was for if they wanted to trade him or what, but if it's Powers, then I will be rooting for him week 1 and moving forward until Cleveland is healthy.
Garnett, man, come on, man. This is an important position, especially if left tackle is uncertain. I feel confident in Linderbaum to the right of that offensive line. I'm looking at it. They got some good players, and you got good players behind them that could fill in. Left tackles all worrying us, but this left guard spot, it would be really nice because Ben Cleveland looks dominant at times, bro. He looks dominant at times. He's just a roller coaster.
Yeah. So this is where this is what bothers me, man. Joe D is that dude that offers the offensive line guru. He unlocks the potential of all these guys. So we strike out with Cleveland, not Cleveland, but Phillips. We got him out of there, right? Ben Cleveland. When you look at him, 6'6", 350, solid muscle, yada yada yada. The dude from
Hey, he's listening to 370 something now, bro.
Oh my god! Okay, now we know why he couldn't pass the conditioning test, right? So it just everything about him is just stud. It's like stud potential. You're a straight stud. But when I think of somebody of that size, I'm thinking oh my god, he's gonna mess me up playing him. Aggressive mentality, just gonna finish you off, drive, all these things. But you don't see it all the time. Or you'll see it maybe at spurts, just at moments, right? So it really bothers me. Cleveland, not the Ben Powers, the battle of the Bens. Ben Powers is the other way around. It's just he's 6'3", 315, 310. Just it's two different players almost, right? He's got to win off more of the finesse game and just technique more than Ben Powers. Yeah, exactly. So it's a whole different ball game. So the steady guy versus the guy that's like this, always, bouncing around, right? That's my biggest problem. And usually the guards are helping the centers, but it feels like the center at this moment isn't helping the guards or anything. So there's more oomph that Tyler Linderbaum has to give and before going to the second level more than anything. So I'm real curious on, how, Cleveland developed. I'm hoping, dear God, the growth is sporadic. I mean, it's through the roof or whatever, but we shouldn't be at a hoping level, man. A third round pick or a lineman is basically on level of a second round pick, in my opinion, when it comes to those linemen. So that's my biggest thing when it comes to those guard positions. You literally, if I'm picking you in the third, that means I'm picking you to be the guy for the next 4 years. So
right, because you might see 1-2 guards go in the first round.
Right.
So
right. Yeah,
where
like you see the
you're gonna have.
Kelces of the world, but like just come on, Cleveland.
So I think all of us are in agreement, and I bet most of the fans are in agreement too. Like if we want to see Cleveland take this job over Powers, because the upside is there. Garnett, I think you undersold him a little bit as far as his work this preseason, Ben Cleveland. Like, yeah, it took him a while to get on the field, and he couldn't pass the conditioning test. When he was playing right guard in those games and then going to left guard in those preseason games, he was kicking some butt and turning it loose like we saw last year at Pittsburgh. So, I mean, it's there, but I feel like he's got to earn that kind of trust from the coaching staff. And as you know, Ashley, trust with this coaching staff, they will make you earn it. We've seen it with guys like James Prochet having to earn that role. It's like, man, Prochet catches 80% of the passes thrown to him. Can we just throw it to him one more time and try to get a first down here? And Ashley, I'm going to give you props here. You were the only one who looked at Josh Oliver. Do you remember this? And we're like, I think Josh Oliver is going to make it just because I know Harbaugh and he loves his tight ends. And Miss Ashley Oliver is in the purple there. Wow.
Send me your cash app. I got you.
I don't know if I'm proud about being right about that, though.
Yeah. Hey, Ashley, say your thing. Say our thing, please. Say our thing.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit post notifications so you never miss a stream. We go live at 8:30 every night. Like the video. And with the post notifications turned on, you'll never miss a video from Jason. So he does some film as well, so you can catch up, see who we're talking about on the stream. If you're unfamiliar with somebody, Jason will have you covered.
Thank you very much. That was great. That was one of the best introductions I got all week. Sarah made me blush though. Luckily we weren't on TV. Sarah can do that to me. She called me a film guru and all this other stuff, and I was just like giggling like a schoolgirl over there. But yeah, hey, let's look at the wide receivers. I want to say good news, Garnett. All these guys that we were like, can we sneak them through? Blah blah blah. The top three stayed, so they're at our disposal still, unless somebody wants to hurry up and claim them. We still got Polk at our disposal. We still got Victor at our disposal. We still got Raleigh Webb at our disposal. Bridges, one of those guys like we talked about earlier, could be activated off of IR. So this receiver room. Gee, I don't know, any kind of thoughts. Like I'm thinking Demarcus Robinson helps us out a lot. And I think the mix of having like Prochet and likely two different body types in the slot to go with Mark Andrews, like I feel like we have a little bit something working with our receiving core / tight end core, but it's not going to blow anybody out the water. G, disagree with me. Go ahead.
I'm right there with you, but like, yeah, it's a comedic thing. I think like so. Demarcus Robinson, obviously, he acquired by us like right before about 2 days or 3 days before the game, right? And he ran that beautiful double move he did to get wide open against a no-name person, which was beautiful. Like he did what he was supposed to do. So there's no hate should be towards Demarcus Robinson whatsoever, right? But here's my thing: when they asked Demarcus Robinson, like, "Hey, how far are you with the playbook?" Yeah, I barely know anything. And when he said that, I'm like dying laughing. So you mean to tell me that we need to keep you not knowing a lot for this type of success on a constant level? Like, hey, don't let him know the playbook. Just do what you do, Demarcus. And you know what I mean? Like it was just a comedic level of that. But for real though, I feel confident with him and Bateman. With Sammy is one of those things where, like last year when we had him, the biggest problem, he just couldn't stay healthy. But when it came to the speed outs, he ran a beautiful speed out. All the routes he ran were marvelous. And with DeMarcus, obviously we can tell that his route running is not bad either. It's not slouch, but the availability with DeMarcus is going to outweigh what Sammy was supposed to bring to us last year. So that really somewhat, outweighs what Sammy what could have been with Sammy, right? So I'm somewhat okay with the receiver core. It's not going to be nothing. This is the typical thing that Ravens do. This whole Willie Snead before Seth Roberts, Dez Bryant's type of moves, or the Sammy Watkins move. We do this every year. It's a continual cycle, but I really feel very comfortable with Demarcus Robinson. Not because he's from my hometown, but it's because I really think he can really produce at a nice normal level. There might be a couple drops here or there, but I feel like he's going to hit more than he'll miss.
So Ashley, I'm gonna jump in here because look who it is, man. Look, every time I pull up a comment, the play bar runs out. It is Engraven. Still got to catch you guys, girl, live. Yeah, Engraven. We gave a shout out earlier, Garnett and Ashley as my witness to the Florida Ravens, not to you, sir, but to the Florida Ravens connection. What was that, Jeremiah Moon we were talking about? I think. But yeah, man, it was pretty cool. It's great to see Engraven and Simply AS10. You guys know him. If you're in here, you know Engraven Vids, Simply AS10 highlights. I do highlights, but they don't look like Alex's, man. They are excellent. So, yeah, it's just great to have the support from the community there. Actually, I'm going to put the receivers to you like this, all right? In the Lamar era, I would say they're the best that he's had, especially if you throw in Likely and Andrews, of course. Like, let's not act like we ain't going to be throwing a lot to Andrews, especially in Likely. Like, Andrews, Likely, Bateman, and then Demarcus Robinson / all right, you get a couple touches from Prochet, a couple touches from Duvernay. I feel like that's better than last year and better than the Willie Snead, Seth Roberts era, right, Ashley? It's just not blowing you away.
I agree, yeah, and I'm like I said earlier about fans having, setting dangerous high expectations. I don't think it's a bad thing to set higher expectations from last year on this wide receiving core. I feel like they're fully capable, especially with the addition of Likely and having Andrews and having some of these people coming off of injury, starting with a healthy roster. I think we're moving in the right direction. And I like Demarcus Robinson a lot, so I do think this is the best that he's had thus far.
All right, beautiful. And hey, man, it's good to see Percy, dude. Percy, I'll just call you Percy. If there's anything else you'd like me to call you, just let me know. But the Percy's the one I see, the name I see in your names. He says Bateman, Isaiah, Mark, and Robinson, Duve, J.K., Davis, and Drake with Lamar. Are you serious? They have my stuff now, dude. Different ball game. So yeah, man, there's some reasons to be positive. I don't mind the players that we have. I think that they're good players. I think that they're. I mean, if J.K. and Gus were healthy, this would be the best, overall weapons that the Ravens had. I'm still a little nervous on the running backs. You got to excuse me on that. I want to see J.K. be the J.K. that I fall in love with. But yeah, man, the offensive line has a lot to do with that. I think if you give Lamar Jackson himself a good offensive line, you can win any ball game you're in. I mean, seriously, Lamar with protection is enough because if he ain't going to beat you with his arm, he'll beat you with his legs. Lamar Jackson in his pocket presence is consistently underrated. Lamar can feel pressure, like eyes in the back of his head, just scoot. How about all the arm angles he throws it from? Like I hear people say this crap like, oh, well, Lamar can't run a short passing game. Are you serious? Have you not seen him throw around a defensive guy in his face, various arm angles? Have you not seen him launch it on the run? Lamar doesn't need a lot. Really, he's got a really good feel. Also, Ashley, let's talk about Lamar just for a second. Nothing to do with the depth chart, but you ever see Lamar just be able to protect his receivers? Like it might not be hitting the guy in stride, but he's doing that for a reason. When you go back and watch the tape, he would have ran that man into a headache, possibly the ball getting tipped up in the air and intercepted. Lamar will be like, hey, stop right there, cowboy. You know what I mean? And just put it straight on him instead of leading him. Like Lamar does a lot of things, I think, that people don't realize how accurate and how careful he is with the football.
With that being said, I'm not no shot at my brother Joseph Flacco. No shot at my brother. Joe Flacco was the opposite. Like literally, I still remember to this day when we played Chicago Bears, he got Rashad Perriman laid the F out because it was a cover 2 zone. But the fact that where he knew that safety was the corner or the safety was coming down him roaring, he threw it and led him to get a kill shot on him. And Lamar has never done that to a receiver over here. Like he always just to go off what you said, Jason. Like the moment you said that, I had PTSD, CTE, all that kicked into all at once, man. It's just the fact.
Don't make me laugh at that, Garnett. I'm talking to a Marine. I guess I can laugh. I don't know.
Yeah, you can laugh, bro. I'm a dark humor type of dude, man. You can laugh at me. It's never gonna bother me. So, but yeah, man. It's like Lamar has never been that, and just Lamar has always think. I say this to a lot of people, and I want them to think about this. Lamar never had a big receiver to throw to. So think about this. It's more thought behind the throw every time he threw a ball. It's like think about Hollywood, 5'9", 180, quote unquote 180, right? So the ball every time he threw it to him was like literally on the money dime throws.
Yeah.
It's never been hung out to dry type of throws. Never. So
yeah, Lamar did. He protected Hollywood like a mofo, and those passes have to be perfect. In fact, fish trainer down here, again, it runs out as soon as I pull up the darn thing. Bateman better than Hollywood in this system. Yeah, I don't think you got to protect Bateman. I think you'll see Bateman be able to run them quick slants and stuff that we didn't do with Hollywood, because Hollywood would have got it handed to him over the middle of the field on something short. Yeah, there was some couple other. Yeah, Percy, again, wait till you see the scheme. All right, yeah, I want to see what they're doing with this running scheme. Yuri, as Marshall has been saying, that he expects us to run more zone. I can see this. And then from Fish Trainer, Hollywood put up numbers, but at the rate at which the ball was being pumped to him, the production was overwhelming. Yeah, he barely had over a 1,000 yards last year. And how many targets was it? I think it was like 160, something around there, right?
Yeah, that Detroit game would have had him over at least over 12 to 1,300 yards, man, by itself. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and any of them over 6'1". Well, he's going to be throwing to Andrews a lot. He's over 6'1". He's going to be throwing to likely a lot. Yeah, it said Ricard. That's funny. He's over 6'1". Bateman, I think, is about 6'1". Demarcus Robinson, what is he, Garnett, like 6'2"?
6'1.5", 6'2". Well, think about this. 2 pairs of socks and some cleats. He's 6'2", bro. You're good.
All right, so we'll put some socks on him, man, and then he'll be 6'2". So, yeah, man. It's a little bit bigger receiver core than we've had especially when you consider the tight ends. Some great comments there. Ashley, anything else on this offensive depth chart? Because I want to look at some Josh Ross.
No, I think we got it covered.
G, you good, bro?
Yeah, man. So my camera's going to get blacked out for like at least 30 seconds. I'll be right back, okay?
We won't miss you. Yeah.
Okay. You're never going to miss me.
All right, let's see if we can pull this up. All right. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do here is just look at that picture of him in his uniform. I got to blow that up, and man, I wish I could save that real quick. Simply see if you can get that picture of Garnett in the bank and send it to me. Yeah, we're gonna look at some Josh Ross highlights here, and we'll just go over what we see on these plays. We're not going to break them down like a full breakdown every play, and they're running this scheme. And nah, man, we're just going to watch the man in action and notice some patterns, which you can do with my highlights. So there's Josh Ross. This first play is going to be his first impact play. You should see him back up and watch the awareness in zone. There's that guy. Let me bait the quarterback a little bit. Smacks it up in the air. Geno Stone intercepts it. You see the pass chops right there. He knew to bait that quarterback. He knew where the ball was going. That was beautiful. See him circled here. Look at the physicality. We talked about the non-patty cake before. Actually, you saw it there. Him blowing up the guard. Bam. And getting in on the tackle. Nice job setting the edge there, Ashley. But the physicality you can see with Josh Ross right there.
Yeah, that was my favorite part about watching him. And like you said, the awareness. He looks like he's been doing like professional level football for years now.
Yeah, very, very veteran. We'll be able to see that throughout this tape. I'm not going to stop every play, but you see him right there. Okay, this is another cover. Look how fast he breaks on that ball. Now, that's not a highlight, turnover, or whatever, but if you look at the reaction time, look at when he moves and where the quarterback's arm is. Bam, I'm there. Okay, so that's the difference there between yak and no yak. Ross shuts it down. Now against our buddy Trace McSorley. Saw that a lot in the preseason, the splash game and the instincts. Not much analysis needed there, G. He just saw his shot and took his shot. Thanks for the noise, bro.
My bad. Can I just get one cursing word, please?
Go ahead, sir.
No, he has a rocket up his ass when he hits those holes, bro. It's like the biggest problem I have with simply please don't get mad at me with Queen or just in any linebacker that we had is just like they were very hesitant. Like they knew they had to go, but they were they'll what's the word I'm looking for? Like timid. They
didn't want to make mistakes, bro.
Exactly, bro. Just go. Like I'm not gonna get mad at a man that's making 100% mad effort into making up a play. Like that's the biggest thing I love about Ross. Like when I saw that, it reminded me of of how I play. Just downhill. Hey, if you touch me, I'm gonna mess you up, and I'm gonna go for it. Like it's what it is. I'm gonna go 100% maximum effort, and there's nothing you can say to me about it. That's what I love about Ralston.
And he's physical. I made another no patty cake when you were gone, bro. He just blew up a guard, kept going. So I'm gonna keep it running for a little while. You see this now? If he wasn't so damn good on this play, it would have been an interception. Look how close he is to the receiver. So when it gets tipped, he doesn't have a chance to intercept it.
Yep. So, all right, can you play that or replay that clip real quick, please?
Sure, bro. Sure.
So I'm gonna. Hey, so it's gonna be weird because it might be a delay.
You want to go ahead and commentate?
When I say now, just stop it, okay?
I'll try, bro.
All right, okay. I want. There's a reason I want you to like. There's a reason I want to say this. Now, you saw how fast he reacted out of the periphery of his eye when he saw that guy. He didn't fall for the bluff or for the first round.
Nope.
He diagnosed it that fuck. Oh my bad. Excuse me. He diagnosed it that freaking fast out of the periphery of his eye because he understood his job and responsibility to cover the flats.
And what he's doing here, Ashley, too. I know film is something that you've been getting into. He's not taking the bait, as we saw Patrick Queen. What Garnett's referring to is watch the guy that he's just going to let run right past him, almost like Ed Reed would do. Like, why didn't he take that? He didn't take the bait. Watch him keep his eyes on the prize right here. Not this play, of course. It'll be the next one. There's a guy that's going to cross him. He don't give him second thought. As he's dropping back, by the way. The 80, nope, I don't care about him. Got help on that side. I'm going to go in the flat. Beautiful play. Okay, we'll get to see him here from a long angle. He's going to blow up a screen pass here. Nope. And you see how he was really safe with the tackle. He didn't go flying by or try to drop his shoulder there. Made sure he got the tackle. See him with a pressure there. I mean, that counts as a highlight in my book. Nothing special, but he did what he was supposed to do. Okay, again.
I'm done, Coach. I'm sorry.
It's the discipline on this play for him not to get overrun to this side. He stays in his hole. And when the guy comes, he's right there to meet him. So, again, he doesn't get washed out. Look at him. Bam. Matches the running back step for step. And, of course, when he meets the running back, he's going to be a very sure tackler. I mean, Garnett, he's only like 230, bro. Like, he's not just a linebacker.
I'm about to cry, man.
There it is, 79. Boom. And this is where I think if he was a little more athletic, he would have been drafted. He doesn't have that top-end speed, and you'll get to see that in his highlights. One thing about my highlights, you'll see some okays. So beautiful, beautiful job separating. The guy turns the corner, but it's not much. Ross is not fleet of foot. You see the communication there. Again, Garnett, he doesn't bite.
Bro, oh my God, man.
You see this. Now, a lot of times these running linebackers on these plays, this is a play Cleveland runs all the time. You'll see the running back get here. You'll see the quarterback stretch it out. All the linemen are going to the left here. So they're trying to get everybody to move so they can go back to the right. Ross is not bailing on his responsibility. He flows, I believe, a little bit to the right, but he's got his eyes on the prize, as we say in the scouting community. Okay, I'm going to flow a little bit, but not too much.
No homo. You saw the ass tap?
Yeah, it was great, right?
Yeah, he was in sync with the secondary the moment he saw something. Oh my, come on, man.
Another one of them splash plays. You get this from PQ too, right? But you don't get a lot of the physicality like this. Look at that. Probably my favorite play of the highlight. This is what I'm talking about, where this is what he does that I don't see PQ do. It bothers the hell out of me as a lover of tough football players. Look, there's no choice. I'm blocked. I'm going to have to dismiss you.
Come on. All right, so let me clarify. So I know there's some people like, well, he ain't doing it against starters. Well, think about it. This is an undrafted guy looking like a savvy 5-year player in the league already. So think about that.
Here's another low-key great play, okay?
Watch the hips. Look at the hips.
You see him feel for the guy behind him, right? So I'm going to rewind it a little bit more, but wait till you see him have a feel for I believe it's this guy coming out of the backfield. He knows that it's an in-breaking route. That's something that you can't teach, bro. It's something that we've been Okay, it's going to take PQ a little bit to develop. And Harrison, this is what only him and Bynes can do on this team. Watch him feel the little peak right there, and then bam. Now, of course, there's the lack of speed I'm talking about again. It shows up every once in a while. It's not perfect.
Yeah, the burst of acceleration is not there when it comes to like those situations, but downhill, it shows in it's weird angles, like for him. Like if it's not downhill and it's like lateral, that's where it shows.
See the peak. Watch the peak again. The peak's right over, knows what kind of route it is. Then he's going to go take care of his responsibility. So he's covering two things at once there.
Right.
And you won't find those highlights on a lot of other highlight tapes because it's not a splash play, but that is an intelligent football play.
Jesus.
So you hear him close to the goal line. Okay, again, he's going to be disciplined there. Again, not a big, but you watch him. He doesn't get sucked into this side too much. He's actually moving towards where the action might be. Nice job by Tony Jefferson forcing Sam Howell back inside on that one too. Bam. I mean, it's just automatic with this cat. In the last play, guys, I highlighted the wrong guy. So this is actually the ricochet rabbit there. Ross made a better play.
No, you're good. And so here's my whole question. Like, Ashley, are you feeling this, like what we're doing right now? Are you feel like you're gaining a lot of this? Like a lot of
that's what I was gonna say. I think it was Yolanda. She said, "Thank you for including this. I'm learning so much. I just wanted to sit back and let you guys talk because I am learning a lot."
Jason, you're hearing this, right?
Yeah, man. I want to do film breakdowns on this show. I'm gonna do if I can get the film. Okay, so I have to behave myself and just hope that I'm able to get the film and just be respectful of the NFL's content. If I can keep it going, I want to do this every week with who I consider the player of the game. Or maybe it's a guy we want to look at. It's his first game, like DeMarcus Robinson or something like that. You know what I mean? Something interesting. So we can go on and try to break some finer points, because what I find frustrating about other film studies that, dude, I have like Coach DC, Coach Evans, Edgar Allen, they know more about coaching than I ever will. Okay. They're way up here above me on that level. I'm a scout. What I do is I look for certain qualities and the same things over and over again. Right. So instead of spending 10 minutes on one play, talking about what every single guy's doing and what the coach is trying to do and how to set up, what I want to do on this show, I think will be fun, is just to take a look at a little highlight or a cut up like that and try to see some qualities that keep sticking out to us.
Right.
Ashley,
go ahead, my baby.
Yeah, I want to know Ashley's opinion on this. We didn't talk about this.
Well, I was just going to say, as a woman in sports, Jason has a way of not making you feel dumb or inferior when he explains things. And that is a rare trait across just most men that I've talked to in sports. Obviously, there's exceptions. I'm not saying all of them are like that. But Jason, you're just naturally like that. It's not like you're going out of your way to dumb things down for me, because you know that I know what I'm talking about. But you still explain it in a way that I feel I just enjoy learning from you.
Nice,
man. Nice. Garnett, you like the style of how that went for
Bro,
first time?
The natural reaction of my behind my ass reaction to what I'm watching with you, and you're talking about it. Me because I play middle linebacker and then I play fullback, at high school and at a little collegiate level. So watching somebody understand what's happening before it happens, or just the natural instincts to react to something, it's beautiful, man. So I feel like this the Josh Bynes breakdown, not Josh Bynes. Whoa, the Josh Ross. The Josh
Don't be joshing me, yeah.
Josh, I'm not joshing you, brother. But the Josh Ross breakdown was like a perfect example of what I think we should somewhat add on, to for every show, because we'll pick out a player or we'll coming together on the back end, in the shadows. We'll like, hey, who do you think we stick out? We'll have a vote, figure out, and do this. I think we're maybe just like the fan thing. Hey, Ashley, I have an idea. Even on this show, how about we put out a voting panel? Like whoever after the Jets game, we'll put out a panel. The fans vote. Who do you think had the best game?
There you go.
100%. And then we'll go to brother Jason and like, hey, you think it'll be possible if we can cut this up for this person? And then we'll discuss it.
I
I'm
like
down.
it.
Yeah, I'm down with that. We'll use Twitter as a tool. I know a lot of the people on here from Twitter ask you who you want to cut up at, who you want to look at, and then I think I can put polls on YouTube, trying to figure all that stuff out. But yeah, man, that was a lot of fun. I love watching tape with people, and I mean, when Garnett comes over, I'm sure we're going to do a lot of that. And I just want you guys to know my place is that I don't spend a ton of time with the X's and O's. I understand what his assignment is, and I want to see him execute that assignment. So I'm very, very scout based, and I'm interested if other people are interested in hearing that kind of perspective as a compliment to the great work that Coach Evans, Coach DC, and everybody else that does those breakdowns. I'd be more than happy to do it. We'll look at them every week, man. Maybe one offensive, one defensive. We have a lot to talk about, man. We'll have the upcoming game to talk about. We'll have the last game to review. So we'll get with each other and try to figure that out. You know what I mean? We'll get a good balance in there. Yolanda.
Yo, she hit us with the Bart Scott. Can't wait.
Yeah, she hit us with the Bart Scott. Can't wait. And then she hit us with, she's contributing towards Ashley's bottle of wine that I'm going to buy her. Sorry, Simply. Don't take it with her. But what happened to it? I thought I put it up there. There it is. Yeah, she hit us with the $9.99. Thank you so much. Yolanda makes me blush a little bit. I gotta watch myself on that.
Oh man, your wife is man.
I don't even want to hear what you got to say about that, Garnett. Yeah. Fish trainer Hamilton. You know what? I see a guy who's hasn't played poorly, but hasn't played great. I see somebody in Hamilton that's going to need a little bit of time to get comfortable. Hopefully, it's not like a Brandon Stevens type situation. I don't think it will be with him. I just think right now, like Garnett was saying earlier, he don't want to make any mistakes. And actually, that's why I want Chuck Clark with the green dot in there on every down and put Kyle Hamilton in there to really just spice things up and add to the defense. Put him in, let him blitz or let him cover somebody he can handle, Ashley. Get that confidence up in Kyle.
Yeah, I agree. And I think our defense is so young that Chuck Clark having the green dot would be beneficial to them instead of putting somebody in who may not be ready for that kind of responsibility leadership role.
Yeah, Garnett, Kyle Hamilton, sir.
Yeah, so my thing about Kyle, this is my true test for Mike McDonald. And then there you go with Engraving. I'll let you do that.
Engraving. I'm going to kick your team, keep it clean, so I can't even say it. I'm going to stub your toe, sir. Nah, man. Thanks, Engraving Vids. Right? This, Garnett, I don't mean to
go ahead, bro.
Nah, man, I just got to say this about Engraving because he won't admit it and won't say it about himself. So I got to wait till he's off camera. Engraving has always been straight up with me, there for me. No BS with Engraving. If you like him, you like him. If you don't like Engraving, you don't like him. You know what, though? I got a lot of respect for him because, number one, he works hard. Number two, if I got a question, I mean, dude, he's taking the time to help me figure out, how I get with this stuff. I get all nervous and stuff with the computers and how to hook it up here and there. Engraving's there for me, man. He will pick up the phone. If I call, unlike Ashley, who will let it go to voicemail, Engraving actually answers.
Listen, I'm working full time. I'm in school.
We got another new dating site up here. Great, man. Block users.
Already blocked it. That's why I'm already in the chat, bro. So we're good. Anyway, if I was like single, my wife, I'm just playing. Anyway. So I'll just it's just a real funny part. But like for real though, like Engraving, I just want to say this from about my heart, man. Like literally, you can obviously with Michael Crawford can always use a tag team. When I was in Okinawa for over like 6 years ago, I would literally listen to you guys or just watch YouTube videos of you guys giving me updates about the current events for the team, everything, all the information. And the one thing about that separates Engraving from the rest of the pack, he gave his own opinion about how he felt about the team in every scenario that they came across with the team. So, seeing him do it his own way, it really brought a lot of questions that fan base would have that never would get answered by the local beat writers or whatever for the team. He was willing. He was that guy that stepped up for us and said it, and broadcasted over a huge platform, which grew and grew and grew to what it is today. And now it got to a point where now he's getting the local beat writers, the local guys that used to be a part of the team, to now come on this show or whatever, and he's able to question them. So like perfect example of when him and Quadri Ishmael had a space together with Sarah Ellison. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
Very beautiful, because he was able to ask all the questions that we wanted to get out to them, and because we felt a certain way about it. So, man, engraving is for the people, by the people, for the people, all those things, man.
yeah. We like joke around a lot on the show, but I mean it. And then when you say that around Engraven, he don't want to hear it. He changes the subject. So, but yeah, actually, Engraven did say, "Don't do Ashley like that." Yeah, Engraven, she could be a little stubborn right now. She said, "Okay, yeah, she's taking all these credits. Yeah, she works all the time. Yeah, she's got family going on. But I mean, it's me calling, bro. Like, what?"
I taught you how to use voice notes. I taught you how to use a voice
She did. I told Ashley I'm going to go on a spree of leaving everybody voicemail. What are they called?
Voice notes.
Voice notes, man. You push the button, you hold it down, you say, "Hey, what's going on? Is this thing on?" And instead of texting, it sends them the voicemail.
Oh, I do that all the time. Yeah. Funny story. It's like 5 seconds. So I accidentally I was talking about, I said my homes, but my phone registered my holes.
All right. Sounds good, bro. Nice. Yeah. Lunch break hot take in here. Nice to see. Man, Jose, Rodney, we got a head dog. Garnett is cool, but Engraven is for the kids. Bro, if Garnett was that cool, Jose or Brodney, you would know his name has one T.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's why I thought he was like Kevin Garnett with the one T.
Right.
Yeah, Garnett, man. I thought you need another T on there. No, maybe not. Mama says one T, it's a one T, bro.
There's 3 of us, bro, so we're good, man.
All right, cool. Yeah. Well, guys, let's hit the final thoughts portion of the show. Man, we got a couple other ones. We got a fire Harbaugh in the house. Hey, bro, it's an equal opportunity speech on here. Sorry I didn't get to all your comments. Bringing over Braun. Thanks for supporting the channel, man. Like I see your comments on there for real. Yeah. Team keep it clean, definitely. Black Daniel said, of course. Graven said, anything is possible. I like that. I like that a lot. I've seen it before. I might have to appropriate that one, sir. I might have to appropriate that one. Anything is possible. I do like Henny. But yes, final thoughts. Bow Wow says fire Lamar now. So Bow Wow's having a great time in here. Ash, final thoughts as we head into next week. Next week, this time we'll be preparing for the Jets. So it'll be almost Joe Flacco time, it looks like, Ashley.
Yeah, and I will be wearing my Joe Flacco jersey, but I will be rooting for the Ravens. I'm not one of those fans who's hoping Joe Flacco gets a redemption arc or something. It's not going to happen. I'm excited to see going into week 1. I've missed actual football, got a little over the novelty of preseason football. So even though we are on a 23-game win streak.
Yeah, Bow Wow, what to say about that? Y'all can't even put a first team out there getting the first pick every year. No wonder, man. Steal Joe Douglas from us. Who else, Garnett? Isn't like New York now? Like we're all to die. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yuri, he's going for the guest appearance next week. He goes for the yeah, bro. Engraven, you missed it. Catch the replay.
Sneaking and geeking.
Yeah, I did the sneak and geek and the snatch and grab. So we got off on a tangent there. Garnett, last final thoughts here before we wrap it up.
Hey, final thoughts on really just the whole thing. Hey, thank you guys for showing up, just blessing us with your presence. Simply, get one half of the Purple Rain podcast. and Graven does his own thing. He has his own passion. Like and subscribe anybody that showed up that has his own, that are content creators, especially with their lunch break hot take with Jose and Brodney. Like
And dog.
Hen Dog with the ungatekeeping. Hey, this is what I know, Jason. I'm not trying to steal his thunder. I'm not even going to steal it. This is what Jason preaches, and I'll let him finish it off with that. But hey, thank you guys for showing up. We're going to try our best to get to the comments as much as possible. I've seen there was a lot of funny stuff. Yuri, Alex, all you guys have a lot of things. We're going to try our best to get to those at the end of the show if we can. We'll try to go through and scroll, but thank you guys for showing up. Ashley, thank you for killing it like always, man. Jason, the film content is a mastermind because it brought out the natural energy. It was crazy because me, I'm a linebacker at heart, bro. So watching stuff like the communication, tap on the butt, and just the peripheral vision and instinct to react to stuff, that had me,
Yeah.
my wife, we might have a fourth children after this because that's how riled up I am, man. Literally, you brought out the passion of me, the passion of Jason, not the passion of Christ, the passion of Jason. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, this is how he gets to spend all the time. There's one other person that I want to give a shout out because I pick on him like my little brother because I love him so much, and that's Alec Polianis, One Winning Pod. Him, Chris, and Peter, which I always have a fun time with because it reminds me of Peter Criss, who is of Kiss, and it also reminds me of Peter Griffin and Chris Griffin. So I get all kinds of dad jokes in there. And Alec, of course, he got in my business. He donated on the Cash App down there, or Venmo or whatever. And I didn't know this, Ashley, but you can see what the last thing the person ordered or whatever. So he saw me ordering Greek food, and Alec is proud of his Greek heritage, Greek festivals, Greek cooking, all that. So then he wanted to know what I got. I was like, it's some kind of wrap. It looks like a burrito, bro. I don't even know, but it's good as hell. It's got steak in it and onions. My wife manages the food around here and something that she takes very seriously. So Alec Polianis with the purple heart down there. Absolutely, bro. Go check out One Winning Pod. That's his podcast with Peter and Chris. Not Peter Chris and not Peter and Chris Griffin. But Alec Polianis.
Oh, Peter.
But yeah. So, guys, with that, we will say thank you for watching the show. Football is family. Love my football family. Thank you all because really we're feeding off of you guys. Without it, it wouldn't be nowhere near as fun. I know I speak for both of my co-hosts when I say that. Thank you to Yolanda. Thank you to Engraven for the super chat donations, whatever they're called, man. We will see them. We will put them to good use. If you have any suggestions for next week, give me a shout on Twitter or I'll put up a poll. Let me know whose film you want to watch. Maybe I'll do another compilation of the film study for the preseason games to give us something to look forward to. And with that, Garnett, Ashley, say goodbye to the people.
Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for coming in. And again, don't forget to subscribe, hit post notifications, and like the video.
Yeah, man. Hey, follow all the brothers that follow us, man. The guys that make content, follow them. Hey, we're all football family. Not to steal a line from Jason, but hey, we're all together in this thing.